Today I want to talk about the most important cosmic element you can add to your journey as a spiritual entrepreneur, a cosmic galactic being and a light warrior. If you want to know what that is, I invite you to keep on watching. Hello dear family of lights, dear starseeds, dear light workers on this beautiful planet. I want to talk about something that not a lot of people in the spiritual world are talking about. However, maybe this resonates for you, because let me talk about the most important cosmic or galactic element you can add to your journey. And of course, coming from the stars, it's very almost natural to connect with the stars, to look at the skies and the heavens above, and to reconnect with your family who's out there, the part of your being who's still in another dimension, right? Because deep down inside we resent of being here, because this, even though it's a beautiful planet and it's a living consciousness, is not truly our home. Of course, we have human bodies, and so we really resonate as well. But somehow, deep inside, we are longing to go back to where we came from. And therefore, it's very easy to want to connect with angels and your galactic ancestors and all the magical beings like dragons and unicorns and what have you. However, being human does involve connecting to this beautiful planet. And in fact, it's my understanding that Sophia Gaia, Mother Earth, is also part of this vast universe of star beings. And therefore, connecting with the cosmos also involves connecting with Mother Earth. And that's exactly why shamanic people and other tribes who are really connected to this beautiful planet are also drawing knowledge from the stars. It's like one thing leads to another, and one thing has to involve the other as well. So, as I have been preparing for the Joan of Arc initiation, which is about to happen within a few days, I was called to also look at the earth. I mean, the synchronicities were all over, right? And I felt immediately that it was not about me, but it was like a recognition to really put it out there as well. Let me give you some examples. Last weekend, my auntie gave me this beautiful card deck, which was called Angels and Ancestors, or Ancestors and Angels, by Kyle Gray, his name is. He's an English guy, very into high vibe energies like the angels. And this deck is so beautiful. It's really well, beautifully drawn by someone, and really the old ancient energies of the earth are calling you through this deck. I mean, you think about Native Americans, you know, the shamans, the wise men, the medicine women, images and archetypes like that. So that was one sign for me to connect with the earth, to really listen to the call of the ancestors and the divas of the earth, right? Because, like I said, planet Earth is a very ancient consciousness as well. It's a living being, and she's also traveling through her development. And after the fall of Atlantis and before that Lemuria, she fell as well. So she dropped into the third dimension, which was one of the reasons that we came in, right? We as a Starseed collective, I mean. So later in ancient Egypt, it was tried again to raise consciousness, and the dark forces really tried to bring the energies down, also within different eras of history, like the Roman Empire and other times in the history that it was not really embraced to anchor love and light on this planet, which was one of the main reasons that Yeshua, as a embodiment of the Christ consciousness stepped in. But that's a different story, right? So what I'm trying to say is that the earth is also transitioning and is going through her dark night of the soul, but she is really connected to the stars as well, because she is part of our Milky Way galaxy. And at this point in time, I feel that she is standing alone, and that she also needs to remind herself of the fact that she is not alone, that she is a part of this vast, great embodiment of galactic stars and light bodies as well. So by connecting to the earth and the energies of the earth, whether it's the shamans of the Native Americans or the Maori, or there are so many different tribes around the world who are really connected to the earth, it really emphasizes the connection you have with the stars. So it is my belief that some tribes, and I think all of them, really received information from the higher realms. For example, the Essenes, it was like a group of people living in what we call now Israel. They gained knowledge from a tribe from Atlantis named the Kalu. And they came from the stars as well. And also the Druids had their knowledge directly being given by the Kalu as well. So you would see that the way that the Druids lived and still live and the Essenes were quite similar. Of course, it was different because they lived in different continents and the weather was different, the language was different, and also the rituals were different. But the basics were the same, and that is to honor nature while you are connecting with the stars. So I was thinking, why is this happening? Because I am preparing for the Joan of Arc initiation, which is really cosmic and also very grounded as well. And that was the emphasis that I received. And also, besides the card deck, I also stepped outside of my car 2 days ago. I opened the door and there was this beautiful feather laying. And of course, it's not that unusual to bump into feathers, but for me it is. It has not been for a long time that I bumped into a feather. And of course you can say it's a coincidence and blah, 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 but you have to really know how to look for the signs. And for me, I have been avoiding places where the birds were, because there were a lot of birds in my area, of course. Everywhere there are birds, but they were situated in high trees. And I was walking there the other day, and then one bird shitted on my head, so I avoided that place. So I've been avoiding places where the birds were like really concentrated. And then out of the sun, and when I stepped outside of my car, there was a feather laying there. And I also took a card from the deck. I drawn a card which was said elder, and the other day it said Shaolin master, which was a reference to my Chinese heritage. And that's all connecting to the earth from my understanding, because of course when you buy a card deck, right, there's a little booklet as well which says the meaning, but I'm very keen on noticing inside, what does this mean to you? Why does this card show up to you right now, right? So for me, it was really connecting to the earth and also my ancestors. So what happens next? Today I had a meeting with 3 amazing people. We are working on, you know, it's not, well, it's a little bit like educating, because we truly believe that we are all divine and we should connect to our own divinity and not be afraid to follow our own intuitive instincts and to really empower yourself with positive thinking and things like that, but also by taking action steps. And of course, sometimes it's very necessary to take prescribed medicine, and I'm not against that per se. In some cases it's really necessary, and I'm not a physician, so this is a disclaimer check with your own physician, but in a lot of cases, it's my opinion that prevention is really for the best. So there are a lot of people who are having traumas, who are emotionally wounded, and it's not necessary. If we only want to look inside of ourselves and to really be willing to resolve our trauma, right? Yeah, which happened a lot of the times in our childhood. And it's not about playing the victim, it's about taking responsibility. So we just had a meeting in the woods where I am right now. It's a beautiful place in Holland. It's situated in the east of Holland. It's called the Veluwe. And it's a large, for our understanding, a large wood. Very old energies. And we were there having a meeting and we discussed about ley lines, which are, of course, the meridians of planet Earth. A lot of energies, and in order to work properly, in order to function as a body, ley lines and also meridian systems have to be able to flow the energy, keep the energy flowing. And of course, the darker energies are really not happy with that. So they have been blocking a lot of energy ley lines. And if you are intuitive with the emphasis on working with ley lines, you can feel the energies. You can feel also the blockages of the energies. So we decided to unblock one of the energies, which was running close to us where we're sitting down. So we did a ritual, a ceremony, where we, of course, invoked the ancestors, invited the old energies to come in, to thank, and there's a whole, well, I would say protocol, but it's really from the heart, you know. It's really all about honoring the earth. And so we unblocked one of the portals. It was really like a dimensional portal in the woods, which was blocked. It was running at 15%. So we unblocked it. And to me, it was also another emphasis, go and connect with the earth. And also, it's my true understanding, you can only be of a high vibe and connect with the stars if you are grounded, right? So in terms of chakras, if you're, especially your first 3 chakras are really activated. So that's your root chakra for your safety and stability and also your finance, among things. And there's the sacral chakra, which is all about your creativity, but also your reproduction organs are there. And then, of course, your willpower, which is your plexus solaris. These 3 chakras are really avoided a lot of the times by us starseeds and light workers, because we are all about connecting from the heart, which is your 4th chakra, and expressing. There's also a lot of blockages there because their 5th throat chakra is very much connected to your sacral, your 2nd chakra, and also our 3rd eye and our crown chakra. We really want to be almost all of the time connected with those energies, those higher beings, those beings from the stars and your higher self and things like that, and your divine energies. But only if you are grounded and if you are really paying attention to your emotional states as well. For example, grief, fear, guilt, shame. Those are really lower vibrational emotions, but they are there and they should be embraced. But of course we don't want that, because we've been through so much trauma. We've been so wounded in the past, in this lifetime, but also in other lifetimes. We were hunted down and killed and persecuted and being taken for a fool and things like that, for bringing out our light, that we want to stay away from that. We only want to be in love and light, but that is not reality. In fact, not recognizing the darker forces was really the beginning of the darkest forces to come here. We invited the darker forces, unconsciously of course, by not accepting reality. So this brings me to another topic, that it's not all love and light. You have to know and embrace the darker forces as well. Alongside that, focus on the love and light, but acknowledge there are also very dark forces that are active on this planet, which we don't have to be afraid of. Because as soon as we ignite our light and we truly, truly, truly recognize our divinity, those darker forces are, they're nowhere near any, I mean, goodbye, you know? And it's not about being arrogant, it's not about being on top so that I won. It's not about fighting the dark forces. To me it is, because for you it might be a different story. But it's really about accepting who you truly, truly are. And Joan of Arc is one of the great ascended masters I've been working with lately very much. She is so powerful. She is like, when I sometimes look at her, she's like, you know, not afraid of nobody. And that's why these 5 powerful keywords, she has been saying about these keywords, like emphasis on those words. And those words are exactly the words we are working with for the next coming 6 weeks. So I'm talking about sobriety, focus, courage, faith, and willingness. Those words are so powerful. And one by one, we will go through and work them out. I'm going to teach you all about what it means to her, what it would mean for you, and how you can embody that into your everyday life, right? Because if you are an enlightened starseed and light work, even though you're not familiar with that word, you know you came here for a reason. It's time for you eventually, maybe now, maybe next month, maybe in a year, I don't know yet, to step out as well. First you have to discover it within yourself. What does it mean to me to be willing to accept this mission I have? What does it mean to me to have courage to come out and to externally express what I know, what my gifts and wisdom is? And what does it mean to me to have faith, to have focus? What does sobriety mean to me? We're going to talk about all these words, these 5 really powerful words in the next coming 6 weeks, because they are important. Because it's all about taking action steps, taking divine action steps, instead of thinking all about it in your head. And it's not only about thinking about it, it's about speaking it out loud, but also it's about action. What can I do to be courage, to go out there, to let the world know, despite of what anyone thinks of me, what I have to offer? And this is really self-mastery. It's about spiritual leadership next level, right? So it's very excited to tell you about these topics. And yeah, just enroll if you feel this soul nudge to participate. And yeah, it's really, really something. I'm really looking forward to it. You can enroll. I will put a link somewhere around this video. If you have a question, please don't hesitate to ask me, and I hope to see you inside.